You're listening to Brigade Radio 1.
Welcome to the Antisocial Show.
They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming to get you.
Here's your hosts, Underblock and Tyson Saner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Antisocial Show, a show that believes in the fourth dimension. I am Hunter Block, and he's
Tyson Saner.
Hello, Tyson. So we are back after a brief, small hiatus. But if you notice, unlike other shows, we actually still provide content for you in our absence, so that you don't miss us entirely. But that's also called the paradox of being a podcaster, because you can record a bunch of stuff in one night and break it down into multiple weeks, of course, the way we do it. This way, if we were to take a vacation, let's say, or Tyson needs to run off and do something, or I need to run off and do something, you will not miss us at all, ever.
Right.
Well, I got to thinking, I was on my balcony the other night, and just staring off into the distance. And I got to thinking about.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got to thinking about the paradox, the podcaster paradox, and I'll get into that later into the show. So what I wanted to make reference of, and we never really do this when we open the show, is that if you notice the really cool intro that Tyson did. You notice that it starts off with Brigade Radio 1. Well, that's where you can also hear us, brigaderadio1.org, sponsored by Combat Radio, hosted by Ethan Dentonmeyer. Go check them out. Very cool. And while you're at brigaderadio1.org, by all means, listen to the other podcasts or soundcasts that are up there. Some pretty cool stuff. So getting back to the paradox, is Tyson and I can sit here right now, because I don't know how many episodes that we still have in the can before you'll hear this one. How many do we have? Like 3, 4? Something like that?
As before this one finishes recording?
Yes.
I think at least 2.
2. So theoretically...
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3. So theoretically, if we had more than that, and then we decided to do this one, I mean, we can set this thing in October. We could be like, hey, listen, this is October now, and even though it's not, it's the middle of June or something, like end of June. But we can make it sound like it's in October. That's the whole part of the paradox. You know what I'm saying? We can like play scary sounds and Halloween music. Woo! Which is awesome, by the way.
I used to be able to do a witch noise. Which noise is that? The witch noise. But I can't get my voice up that high anymore.
Yeah, I can't either get my voice up that high.
That's the sound, but it's like a guy would have. No, I can't get up that high right now. So I can't even try. It's like my throat's going, don't attempt it. And it's like, okay, because I don't want to be like the rest of this program. So
right, and like potentially sound it like you're stroking out on the show when you're really not stroking out on the show,
or just damaged vocal cords.
Right.
I'll be stroking. Stroke it.
Now, before, like the day before the show or the day of the show, right? Do you find, because I know I do, and I just really thought about this the other day, do you find like you talk less? Because you're going to do an episode of either Antisocial Show or Succotash?
You mean like during the day?
Yeah, like during the day, do you like use your vocals like less?
No, I'll tell you why. Because I when I'm doing the work that I do in the middle of the day, you know, I tend to. It's physical, and I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts. And when I listen to other podcasts, because for Succotash I listen to them, I listen to other podcasts. I hear a lot of conversations. I hear a lot of humor, and being a person who likes theatrical content and whatnot, and likes doing voices and trying to make people laugh with little character things and whatnot, like that's kind of sort of always been my thing on some level. You get practice voices during the day. That's what I do. Like the voice you're hearing right now is like, it's a combination of volume and like less volume, but more like my voice sounds very raspy to me right now, but it's not. It's like I can't talk too loud. So but I got to be able to be understood. So no, I'm testing things out. I'm singing to myself. I'm whatever it is, just trying to keep the vocal cords active, because I also like to sing, and that's that requires a little more stressing of the vocal cords than talking does, depending on how much one talks. It's a different kind of exercise for the voice, for all that stuff in there, the larynx and the whatever the hell all these things are called in here, the voice box,
The voice box, right.
Yeah, and the mouth, getting sounds and going, getting like limber and whatnot, and having that always there, or being able to make that rattling noise in the back of your throat that Roy Orbison could do, that Mike Myers can also do, but like only being able to finding out that you can do that by accident. So it's like maybe you're driving to work and you start going bah, bah, you're like making a bah sound because you've got your baby in the car and you're trying to entertain him. Which is, fun, honestly fun, but, so you go like, bah, and then you like, it makes, I don't know if I can do the rattling sound right now, but it's sort of like a, blah, 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 blah. No, see, it won't catch on my throat, but if I wet my throat down, excuse me, there it is. No, see, now it's drying out again. You hear how that was doing it for a bit? It was going dud, 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 like that. So it's like a and then
that's because you're also lubricating your vocal cords. Like you're lubricating your voice. I remember back in the old days, before we started doing when we started the show up. So in other words, we started 12:30. Mm-hmm. Before we started every episode in those days, I would drink a cup of hot tea.
Oh yeah.
Just to get the vocals going. But we don't have hot tea in the house, so there's no hot tea tonight.
That's interesting, because I've been switching to tea in the morning instead of coffee.
Oh, I love coffee. Are you kidding me? Like in the morning, I have to have like that cup. Otherwise, it's like, don't talk to me.
No, yeah, I do too. That's why I had to stop drinking coffee.
It's like, you will not approach Tyson. You will not talk to Tyson until Tyson has his coffee.
I was trying to get something called L-theanine. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's the stuff that's in green tea, and so I get caffeine and this other compound. So I was drinking green tea for like almost 2 weeks, I think. Then I ran out of green tea, and I'm looking around the cabinet, and it's like, oh, there's green tea. Oh wait, no, it's caffeine-free green tea. So it's not good, because the stuff that the green tea has in it works with the caffeine better. So it's like, I need the caffeinated kind. So what do we got here? Oh, I got black tea. I have some black tea. Just drinking.
Well, dear listeners, not to cut Tyson off real quick, and I just felt something at my feet.
Fine. I am blabbing. It's perfect.
No, you're fine. I would have let you continue, but like I said, I felt something move at my feet. So, dear listeners,
yeah.
So, dear listeners, I lived in a very big house for the past 5 years, and the only living thing we've had in the house besides the family is the dog, and obviously the dog is obviously out the room and has no contact with me during showtime. Now, in my new pad, I am living with 3 cats, and I told you that there's an archway So there's no way to close that off. So right now I have one of our little babies right here, one of our little darlings. I wish I can get her up onto the desk, but she probably will not make an appearance. But at any given time, she
can't pick her up. She's not small.
She's the one who doesn't like to be picked up. The other two don't. Oh, here we go. Never mind.
Okay.
There she is. Hold on. I don't think you can see her, but she's actually literally. You see a tail?
I see a tail. Oh, look at that.
Yep. So at any given time, she may just jump on the desk while I'm doing this.
That's cute. Is that a cat? That's a cat.
That's a cat. Her name is Luna.
See, now for a second, I thought it was a dog. And I was like, oh, he's talking about having a dog. And I see this tail come into frame. And I'm like, okay, it's a dog tail. Oh, wait, it's not doing this. Like a dog's tail kind of is long and does this. It's going, like, a cat's tails kind of ripple as they go along. So I'm like, oh, wait, no. I'm seeing a cat. I'm seeing a cat really close to the camera. Anyway. I'm
actually surprised because out of the three, I didn't think she'd be the one to jump on the desk and make herself known. The other two probably would, but yeah. See, now she's basically exploring and she's gonna walk on everything. And yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Luna.
Luna. Yes, that's what you said.
Yeah,
Luna.
She's the one that doesn't like to be picked up at all. She has no problem sitting on you. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't like to be kissed. Try to kiss her head. It's like she's being murdered.
Oh no.
Yeah, she doesn't like it, and of course now she just wants attention because at 4:00 in the morning she's the only one that's up and wants to play, and talk to you when you're trying to sleep.
Very cool. So she's a night cat.
Absolutely. Yep. And she likes to hide too. So. All right. Get down. No.
I know very little about the sleep habits of the average feline, so I don't know what is abnormal or what would be abnormal.
For the most part, some cats are more nocturnal at night. Others I've noticed are like more active during the day. This one is more nocturnal, and of course now she's just going to want to have her way now. So you might see her 1,000 times. You might not.
Your sound's getting a little more staticky as she walks by. Also,
yeah. I'll try to keep her down. All right, come on, get down.
I think that's it.
We're all
on here. Hold on. Something's happening.
So, dear listeners, that was my just my small cat experience. So, going forward, when we start doing these recordings, you may see one of them from time to time get bored and just jump on the desk.
Fun.
They want to be a part of the show too. Actually, you know what? We were taking bets, me and Jesse and I. We're taking bets on which one it was going to be because there's three. There's Puka, there's Evie, and there's Luna, right? So we were taking bets on which one was going to be the one to join the festivities during showtime, and we did not put any of our money on Lil.
On Lil?
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Evie.
Oh.
Definitely not Luna. Surprised.
What was the contest?
Well, no. The bet was not really the bet, but we were putting our money on which one of them was going to try to join in on the show tonight. So I'm just letting the audience, the listeners know going forward that from time to time they may see a tail or a face or an ear going forward. But anyway, we were betting that it wasn't going to be a different one. We didn't think it was going to be Luna, obviously, because she has this fascination with the cat tower. That's where she lays, and that's where she continues to lay all day. So this is just this weird.
Cool.
That it would her to
Cat tower.
Yeah, cat tower. Do you have any? I remember you having a dog at one point.
Yeah, we had a dog for I think 9 years. I think her name was Yori.
Yes.
She was a poodle.
Yes, I remember.
And she was diabetic.
I remember that too. You were telling me about that. You don't keep any animals now, do you?
No. We might eventually get another dog, perhaps. Maybe when Jareth is older. Perhaps not. It's hard to say.
I would get a. I mean, I wait till he gets a little bit older. I would get a. I'd get like a small dog.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just some dogs I guess have better temperaments with children than others, and that's something I got to consider.
True.
Yeah. Some dogs are better with small children than others. In fact, I don't know which one specifically, but I know there's probably a list somewhere. Wow, my sound is coming in really. What about here? That is right up to the microphone there. That should work right there. Yes.
I got to thinking the other day, because I knew we were going to do the show. Have you ever noticed that everything weird happens in Florida?
This sounds really familiar.
Yes, we've had this conversation like multiple times, and I continuously go back to it because, based on the fact that every once in a while something will pop up on social media of Florida, and I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like take for example the crackheads that were living in the Walmart attic for like 6 months or something like that, and they were living up there. I mean, I don't know, and this was in Florida. I don't know how they got away with it, but they did.
Walmart has an attic?
Yes, like some type of attic and I wouldn't say like a traditional,
like a storage loft of some sort.
Yeah, like that. Like I wouldn't not like an attic per se. Like when you go up to someone's house and there's like an attic, but like right. Some of like storage.
Like what Clark Griswold gets stuck in Christmas Vacation.
Right.
Like a big version of that, maybe.
Right.
It's Christmas Vacation. There's a yearly viewing. As far as films go, I don't know if we're watching it this year or not. I can't remember if he might have sat through Christmas Vacation when he was. No, wait, because we would have watched it around Christmas. He wasn't born yet then, so I don't know. Yeah, sorry, just things are blending together.
Well, that's Christmas is coming up, obviously, and
the goose is getting fat.
And who's getting fat?
The goose.
Oh yes, the goose is getting fat. Yes,
yes.
Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat.
Yes.
So that would be like another thing to discuss on a future episode when it's around that time. Like, what movies do the listeners watch during the Christmas season? I know I only ever watch Christmas horror movies during Halloween. During there's one or two that maybe aren't considered horror that I watch, like normal Christmas movies that I would that I will entertain and sit down and watch. But I mean,
did you ever see Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Absolutely love that movie.
See, I've never seen that movie, but I've seen the image of the Santa with the arm coming out of the chimney with an axe. That's a pretty striking image.
That is definitely an 80s classic right there in and of itself. I mean, I'm not going to give it away, but it's just something that you have to experience at least once in your life. I don't think there's too much blood or gore in it. It's like just a regular slasher movie, really. Just involves Santa Claus on an axe. But the killer obviously has basically suffered some type of traumatic experience as a child, which would on Christmas, which obviously now is why he's going around dressed as Santa Claus, killing all the bad people on Christmas, because it was that traumatic experience that drove him to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about the psychology of it,
like you do, one has a breakdown, and yeah,
right. The dear listeners, that's what we do on the Antisocial Show. We break things down so you don't have to.
We're like bile.
Yes.
Bile can break down fat. So some people chew the fat, we break it down.
We break it down, right.
Which makes us bile.
We're going to chew the fat. Have you ever seen Dr. Detroit?
No.
Oh my God, dude, that is
There's actually a couple of like classic Saturday Night Live cast movies that I've never seen. And that's one of them. Neighbors is another one I've never seen, the one with Belushi and Aykroyd, and it's one that I've always wanted to. Also, I think they did one called Continental Divide, but I'm not sure.
Well, the reason why that came to mind is because you're talking about chewing the fat.
Oh, yeah?
Dan Aykroyd he dresses as like a very strange character called the Doctor, right? The Doctor has a metal hand that's totally a glove, and it almost reminds me of like a knockoff version of Freddy Krueger's glove if he wasn't a homicidal maniac, right? So the Doctor gets out of the car and he's like walking over to a character called Mom, who is basically like the head pimp in town. She runs like a front limousine service, and she's like the head pimp, right? So they have to meet in the not the graveyard. They have to meet in the junkyard at night to discuss a meeting.
I have to check on something.
Okay.
Sorry. But
yep, I'll talk about something else. I'll talk about something else so you come back.
Okay.
All right. So, dear listeners, it's been a minute since I got back, and I'm all nice and cozy in my new studio, and I'm playing, and I got the little Lou right here in front of me. Yes, the little Luna, Lulu. The anti-social show mascot now, apparently. Mm-hmm. Did you want to say something into the mic, Lou? No? You just want to jump on me? As we're waiting for Tyson to come back, I feel like a virgin on prom night, really. I feel like I've never done this before. It's just basically getting back into the swing of things. I mean, if you think about it, we've been literally 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, without having to have done an episode because we had plenty in the can. So you kind of like, I don't want to say get away from things like this, but it's just a matter of falling back into the habit of being able to keep things going. Now Tyson is back, so I can explain the whole chew the fats thing. So anyway, getting back to Dan Aykroyd, who plays the Doctor. Now, right. He's also a college professor.
Metal hand.
So he walks up and he's like wearing like this really like loud, obnoxious like pimp suit, and he's got like the wig and the sunglasses. He's got like the 15 gold chains and the white shoes, and he's got this metal claw hand, and he's just walking over. He's like, kind of like that, and then he's like, "Let's chew the fat, Mom." And like that's like my sound effect for like the claw going on. He's like, "Let's chew the fat," and then at some point he picks her up in one of those claw things, and he's like dragging her over to like drop her. He's like, "Yes, Mom, this one's on the Doctor. Good night, Mom." And he just like drops her into a thing of cars. I'm telling you, dude, it's hilarious. You got to watch it.
Okay, one of these times I need to see a few of these movies. It's like. I also never seen. I just had it in my head. I don't know if it was a Dan Aykroyd one. It was Bill Murray. Meatballs. I've never seen Meatballs.
That's actually there was quite a few movies that was part of the Meatball franchise. It was a good. All of them were good. I think the first one had Bill Murray in it. Yeah. I think yeah. So. Yeah. Yes. Dear listener, we have gone back to our classic antisocial style or antisocial show style ways. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, 74, of course, I think the caption was, didn't you talk about how we were doing like classic antisocial show style stuff? Sometimes it's nice just to get back to the basics of stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. You mean like how we just ping pong different thoughts. Oh yeah, that's what makes me. What makes me think of this thing. Exactly. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like different things do lead to different things. So different thoughts. Yeah. I mean, like Bill, like take like not Bill Cosby. Sorry, there'll be no roofies in the drinks. I promise, ladies. Roofie. George Carlin, who said that we do think. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, allergies. But George Carlin did say, our thoughts and ideas can be only as good as the quality of our language. We do think in thought or in language and ideas. So yeah, at any given time, like you can mention one thing, and then all of a sudden this thing just pops in my head, and I'm like, okay, well here you go. So when you started talking about chewing the fat,
that's when that movie popped into my head because
Dr.
that is
Detroit, yeah.
Dr. Detroit. That is the funniest scene ever when you see him dressed in his doctor garb, which has nothing to do with a doctor, by the way. He's more like a pimp, just named the Doctor. And so, yeah.
Yes.
So is everything all right with the lad? I was assuming you had to go check on the kid.
You assumed correctly. Yeah. It wasn't, yeah, I thought I'd heard something. It turns out it's because I live in an apartment. You know,
Mhm.
it's a four type apartment. So I've got upstairs neighbors. And I share a wall? No, I don't share a wall. Yeah, I share one wall. Not this one. This is actually goes out to the hallway, so that's nice.
So now, do you have an upstairs downstairs apartment, or you just have a one level?
It's a two level. It's a four unit. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then next one over is also 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what that's called. I want to say called a Foursquare, so it's split level. And anyway, so yeah, it's just sometimes I can hear a movement up there, and because I'm wearing the headphones, sometimes it's hard to tell what's coming through here, what might be happening there, and what might just be somebody just walking a little, not necessarily heavily, but hitting the floorboard just right. So, and it's like, is that tapping on the wall? Because that's the signal I listen for. Is if she needs my assistance, he's right there, and on the other side of the wall.
So I'm living in an apartment now for the first time in 5 years, and I have a neighbor downstairs underneath me. So what we did was we put rugs in certain parts of the of the house, so that we don't disturb him. Like for example, the area rugs. Like for example, my studio has it's all carpeted now with area rugs, big area rug.
Sure.
The bedroom's the same way, area rug. The living room's the same way, area rug. This way, like, you don't make too much noise when you're walking around because it's all hardwood floors. And as you know, hardwood floors make noise when you walk.
Yeah.
And then the only other neighbor we have is, well, we don't have technically a neighbor right now because it's vacant. But if I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing. It looks like I'm pointing at you, but I'm really pointing at the wall.
Okay.
So there's a hallway beyond this wall and stairs that go down. So that's a common hallway just between me and the neighbor. So we shared the hallway if there was a neighbor there. And then there's stairs that go downstairs and out into the back. So right now, currently, there is no neighbor that I have to worry about because that whole place is completely vacant, which I hope it stays that way for a long time.
I hope so too.
Mhm.
If it's the thing you'd prefer.
You're like in the middle, are you like in the middle of everything? Like you have like a person above you and a person underneath you?
No, it's just a 2-story. It's a 2-story, but it's a 4. It's like a duplex on top of a duplex.
Gotcha.
Basically. Just a moment.
All right. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Well, I thought so. There's a problem. I can fix that. Just gotta do this quick job. Here, put that there. Move this here. And put that there.
Hey, boo boo. Picking best.
Surface there. There we go. Okay. There we go.
The ranger won't like that, Yogi.
What?
Hey, boo.
Oh yeah, it does sound like Yogi, doesn't it? Hey, boo boo. Yeah,
Hey.
I was going more for I don't know which one is which, but there's Buddy and Jim. See, I've been watching classic Sesame Street because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I started watching Sesame Street when I was pretty young, and but not as young as like when it was first on. So I got to watch. I'm on like episode 7 now of the first season of Sesame Street from 1969, and they had these kind of like dim-witted characters, like played by actors, not puppets, and they're called Buddy and Jim, where they kind of learn very basic things, and and they're both. It's like Dumb and Dumber, basically. They're both, like one thinks they're smarter than the other, and one is kind of like the more acquiescent character, the more, I guess, personal one. And he's the one who kind of talks like this. Hey, what's going? I don't know if it's Buddy or Jim, but Jim's like, I know that. Jim's like that guy. Jim's like the straight man of the two of them, but they're both.
Jim's like the straight man.
Yeah, like Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. He's like, Bud was always like, come on, Lou. And sorry, you bad. He's like, so he was like the clown and the the non-clown. They're both kind of like, they're both sort of like the clown, but one is a little bit more of the like, the more Oliver Hardy kind of the two of them, he was the more straight man one, more.
I'm kind of like the clown of the anti-social show.
Are you? Yeah, sure. If you like that, yeah, okay. So that makes me the straight man. That's interesting.
not like a clown, like per se, like like he's a pitiful, like not like a pitiful, sad joke of the sense of the word, but like
no. I think we're clearly defining the parameters of what we're talking about. It's this, this character. It's like the amusing character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you obviously are amusing too because there's plenty of times I've lost my. No, definitely not. Dude, like when you busted out that fucking that lint roll collection, dude, I lost my shit. I'll let you know. And there was something else too. We were. This is still edit point, right? So when you were talking to,
I thought we were rolling.
So dear listeners, so there was an episode not too long ago that I'm not going to say who was on, but there was a repeat guest on, and he's total huge bucket of win. I like the guy. Always have a lot of fun when he's on. So we were talking, and then all of a sudden Tyson started talking about something. I forget what he was talking about now, because when you do like a lot of these episodes, you forget the
content.
The content, right? So
yeah, that's why I put like the notes in the episode also to see what kind of things. And even then, it's not. I can only do list 30 things, so we talk about more things usually. Anyway, yeah.
So at one point, Tyson, like I'm from New York, Tyson was talking about something and just made me lose my shit. Now, here's the thing. Like, the guest saw this, but Tyson was still talking, like, as nothing was happening. So he's, like, still explaining this, and the more he's explaining this, the more I'm just losing my shit. And you can tell that the guest is trying so hard not to die, because I think it was more because they were watching me like completely lose my shit, and it was just what you were saying was just funny. It was just one of those moments where you probably didn't intend it to be funny, but it was funny, and you just caught me off guard. It was kind of like the time when we were doing that prop to ad-libbing thing, when we were just making up a script in our head, and you're talking about the set, you're talking about like the dog dying, and even though it wasn't funny, it was funny.
Oh yeah, the serious game. Yeah.
Yeah.
The serious scene.
It was one of those moments where you just completely caught me off guard, and I just died, like fucking howling in laughter. And I know like Tyson's like thinking, oh my God, I got to hit that button again, where it's like he said the F word, so it has to be whatever you have for the F word. What do you have for the F word?
It's a sound from the Skype ringtone.
Yes, that's it.
It just sounds very much like it's like a whoop noise, and it sounds like the F word kind of without sounding like it. Yeah.
I got to thinking about that. You know why that's so funny? Like I'm more prone to cursing than you are, and why that's funny is because you obviously have different sounds for the different various curse words that I may or may not drop.
I do.
Unintentionally, of course. But if you watch that one episode from from SpongeBob where they're talking about how you shouldn't curse, and every time they did curse, they basically bleeped it out, but you could still tell what it was. Mm-hmm. That's why it was hilarious.
Yeah, I think you told me about that one episode. Where it's like, where SpongeBob is, well, I won't say it because I want you to be able to. I didn't want you to do a spit take, so I wanted you to get a good drink of water or a good drink of liquid before.
Yeah, so like when he walks into the Krusty Krab, he's like, "Hey, Mr. Krabs, how the fuck are you?" Yeah,
except he doesn't say that. Yeah.
No, well, yeah, he doesn't say that, but subconsciously though, even though he doesn't say it, so like let's say he didn't say it, let's just say he said, "Mr. Krabs, how the are you?"
Yeah.
But then add that part into it, right? Like that part. your mind basically fills in the rest,
Oh yeah,
right?
of course it
So-
does. I mean, yeah.
so he might not have said the word, the F word, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because they bleeped it out, your mind automatically assumes that he said that word, and that's why you can just tell what he's saying. Like almost every single dirty word they said in that particular episode, your mind is just basically filling in the rest. I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the great thing about the human mind is like you look at something and your mind, like let's say they provide you with A, B, C, cut out D, and go to the next letter, right? But your mind will basically A, B, C, D, E, whatever it is, E, right? So they cut out E. Your mind's going to fill in that part.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
you know what I mean? So that's what's funny about it. So
A B C D E.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yeah.
H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Yeah, I've been singing that song a lot because it sounds like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, not by accident. And my son's his mobile plays like 4 lullabies on a loop of like a digital music box. So it doesn't sound like a music box, but it's simply composed like a music box would be. But it's like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, my Bonnie. Bonnie lies over the ocean. That one. Bonnie lies over the sea. And then there's the one I don't know the lyrics to. It was Brahms' Lullaby, and that's the one that's like, I think Bugs Bunny sings it as Hushabye and good night. So I don't know, because these are not whole memories. And what else? Oh, Mockingbird. Yes.
Memories. Speaking of memories, that's another thing I wanted to touch upon. But we could talk about that later in the show if you want to.
Rockabye Baby.
I happen to, speaking of like childhood and things like that.
Sure.
You're not that much. Well, you're how older than me?
6 years?
6 years. Okay, so we're like basically in the same age gap. When we were kids, like it was a completely different world. Like we had things like Etch a Sketch.
Etch a Sketch, yeah.
Yes. Remember Glowworm?
I think so.
Yeah, like that little worm that glowed and stuff like that.
Was it a yeah, it was like a kid's toy. It was like a slug type thing, and it was it was, but yes, I do. And they actually lit up, I think. Yes. On the commercial, I think it lit up like green.
Green, yep. Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin, yeah.
Teddy Ruxpin, the talking bear.
I had that.
Can you and I be friends?
Yes.
That's what he said in the commercial.
I just so wish I still had that because like the amount of stuff that you could do with him like nowadays, like you could take like a tape and like Metallica or something like that, or put it. I mean, oh my God, I just wish I still had that. Like it's phenomenal.
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpins it's interesting. I never had a Teddy Ruxpin, but there was he also had, speaking of worms, he had like a Grubby, a friend named Grubby, and it was like this.
Yes, I never had Grubby. I had the bear.
But like apparently you could link them up and they like would talk back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know how you would do that because never got to explore that, but I like that idea because it's like I kind of like that the dark ride thing. So you sit and you basically ride through and watch puppets, and it's like recreations of things. So the idea that there could, or Chuck E. Cheese, where it's like puppets that have banter back and forth. So I like the idea of multiple animatronic, physical items, actual touchable puppet type things where you can turn on a story and have them act out all the parts, and you can actually watch them do the idea of that is very
Here's the sad. I don't know if you're going to take your kid to a Chuck E. Cheese, but here's the sad part. Chuck E. Cheese is definitely different from now.
Yeah.
When we were kids,
it's
like
not
for
like
example,
it was when I was a kid. Yeah.
No, they had like a live person walking around dressed like like Chucky, right? Like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. Mm-hmm. They had a ball pit.
Yeah, they had arcade games all from before 1983.
Yes. So completely different. I think the kids nowadays have definitely missed out on a lot of stuff.
Like a Flynn's Arcade level selection of arcade games, where if you just pause, if you freeze frame on Flynn's Arcade and look at all the recognizable games, you'll see like You'll probably see Space Invaders and Defender and oh god, I'm blanking. Centipede might be on there. I'm not sure. Maybe Centipede.
Centipede.
Speaking of which, no spoilers, but I finally saw Captain Marvel.
I'm sorry?
I finally saw Captain Marvel.
Oh, how was it?
It's really good. So I'm watching all the the Marvel universe. So I haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, and I'm not going to see the new Spider-Man. We're watching them in order now as best we can, but we can't really get to the theaters. So
I want to see. I still need to see Captain Marvel.
Mhm.
I definitely want to see Endgames, and I still need. I definitely want to see Dark Phoenix.
yeah, I want to see Dark Phoenix. I don't think it did well at first. I don't know if it's doing well now, but it kind of bombed at the beginning of its first weekend. So I'll still, and people are talking about how it's killed the X-Men franchise and stuff, and it's like I'm still going to see it because I can't not look. I can't look away. I have to see. I have to see how awful it is if it's that awful. Certainly,
Well, it's like I mean, if it bombed as you're saying it bombed,
I think it did. I mean, look, it's the early reports were not good. It's only been out for what, a week, 2 weeks.
well, it's kind of like the only thing I can put into relations to Dark Tower, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, this is going to be months, so I'm not burying a movie like
Right.
at the time that it's still in theaters and talking bad about it. I'm saying that as of this recording, which people will hear a couple months from now, it's it could have turned around. So I don't want to have contributed to that. Like you're still going to see it, right? Yeah. So I haven't gotten you to not spend money on going to see that film. So I'm not hurting anybody by bad mouthing it. This is just what I've heard, and I rarely hear this much ire towards. Like, I don't think I heard this much ire towards the third one, X-Men 3 Last Stand, and that was roundly, panned, as was X-Men Origins Wolverine, but then X-Men First Class kind of brought it back to people in some way,
Well, it's kind of like so it's kind of like one of Stephen King's and this obviously Marvel has nothing to do with Stephen King. But one of Stephen King's greatest achievements was the Dark Tower series, right?
Sure.
There was 7 or 8 books in it, and each book was phenomenal, right? So and of course, actually no, because you know what? I think Marvel did come out with a comic book series based on the Dark Tower, but it was just basically the same thing, but just in comic book format.
Sure. Yeah. Marvel does that. Yeah, they have this, they did. I have a 2010 that movie, the sequel to 2001.
Right.
I have a Marvel comic adaptation of it.
But the thing about it is that so when the movie finally came out, The Dark Tower. It basically, I mean, I thought it was great, but a lot of people said it wasn't to their expectations, kind of dive bombed. And I remember early reports, because don't forget Roland is a white guy in the series, right?
Yeah, he's like a Clint Eastwood, Rutger Hauer type.
And in the movie, he's a black guy. And
yeah.
I remember I remember reading about it on Facebook, social media, and everyone's like,
cool.
He's a black guy. He can't be a black guy. And I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, totally. It's like
it's like
people get really worked up about that stuff.
Right, why are you worked up about who plays the character? Be more so if it's going to be more towards the storyline or the story in general. And okay, obviously it has its differences because it's a movie that's based on 8 books. So I get the idea, but I mean, as far as Dark Phoenix is concerned, I have to see it because I'm a huge X-Men fan, and for me to not see this movie, it would just be criminal. So yeah, no, I mean, everyone has their own opinion on the movie. My opinion may differ from your opinion. So obviously, what you say is not going to spoil it for me. I'm still going to go see it.
Right. And we
talked
about 3 things with Dark in the title or the description. Talked about Dark Phoenix, Dark Tower, and Dark Rides.
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing about Dark Tower, I will say, I did of all the things that movie, all the things that were wrong with that movie, the casting of Idris Elba was not one of those things.
No, definitely not.
There was plenty wrong with that movie, as far as if we're looking for an adaptation of The Gunslinger, that ain't it. But it is an interesting essence of setting up this world if they were to be able to go forward and kind of like it's like because people who read the books, they really want to see a literal adaptation. I mean,
that's the thing. If it's supposed to be an adaptation of The Gunslinger, right? Obviously, The Gunslinger being the first book in the series, which is right behind me, by the way. It is definitely a poor adaptation of The Gunslinger. You're right. That's not it.
It's not an adaptation of The Gunslinger. I mean, it is a suggestion of it, but that's fine. That's my point. My point is it's fine. It suggests the essence of the series as a whole.
Right.
It's something that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's where they went wrong.
Well, it's also for people who have read these stories and like these stories. The movie, if they watch it, they're going to be inclined probably to not like it, or to go, or because they're going to be expecting one thing. If they don't go expecting that, then they'll be fine. But I mean, like people are going to. Then also, by the way, for people who don't know anything about these stories, it is not that easy to follow.
That's very true because you have.
It's an alien story, People they don't know where it's going. They don't know what to expect. And there's this element of like, is this what the books are like? What does it explain it more in the book of what this guy's doing and who he is and why he has? And it's like, no, because a lot of this isn't in the book.
Right. I mean,
that's okay.
What I do like about the stories, the books, is that even though it's like all over the place, it does explain a few characters that probably if you just read their standalone stories, you wouldn't have, like, take Randall Flagg, for example, right? If you just read The Stand, you wouldn't really necessarily understand why this guy has like all the powers he has, from a viral apocalypse, so to speak, right? Because that's basically how The Stand started. It started with a viral apocalypse, and all of a sudden this guy comes along and he's like a legion of demons or whatever he is, and it's like, well, how's this guy possible?
He's a demon.
But he's a demon, right? But when you read the Dark Tower series, it explains more.
Actually, he's more of a sorcerer, I think.
Yes, he's more of a sorcerer, right? But he's
a bad dude.
He's a bad dude that works for the Crimson King.
He's a bad magical dude.
He's a bad magical dude, right? But it at least explains that he's a bad magical dude.
He's the scariest kind of bad dude. Is a bad dude with magic powers.
Right.
Which is like that is Brightburn.
But the cast.
Bad,
but now
sorry,
take the movie. The cast is phenomenal. There's nothing wrong with the cast. I love the cast.
Yeah. Oh, are we talking about the Dark Tower still?
Yeah, I'm not even a big fan of what's his name, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
I'm not a big.
Fine. He was okay. Actually, I like what he did with that role.
Yeah, in that role, he was fine. Like, I'm not a big fan of his, but he definitely pulled off Randall Flagg perfectly.
Creepy dude, man in black.
Like when he walks up to someone and goes, "Stop breathing," and then they're like, he's like, "Stop breathing." Can you imagine that, like having that kind of power? Like if someone pisses you off, you just like walk up to them like, "Stop breathing."
I mean, he's literally the worst person to have that sort of power.
Yeah, well, not a person.
Not a person. No. I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been established in Stephen King. In the Stephen King. I'm asking a specific thing.
Right.
In the Stephen King universe, I don't think it's been established whether or not there's an afterlife.
No. Okay, so if you take Randall Flagg, right? He was in The Stand. Okay. He was in the Dark Tower series. He was in The Eye of the Dragon, if that's something Eye of the Dragon. But as far as like the afterlife is concerned, there's never been like a mention of the afterlife at all. It's always been like a multiverse is how Stephen King basically so basically kind of like DC has like its own multiverse. If you go into Stephen King's universe, it's been established that there's a multiverse, and basically a lot of the books are connected by either events, right, or characters. So take like for example Salem's Lot. Right now you have the priest, right, and he's like a rinky-dink character that nobody would give a shit about. Sorry, Tyson. Nobody would give a shit about. And you put out of your mind because you read Salem's Lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, spoilers. But then you find out that this guy is in the Dark Tower series.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you didn't think about what happened to this. He didn't die in the book. Spoilers. So maybe you didn't think about what happened to him in Salem's Lot when he versed the vampire. But now he's in the Dark Tower series. Same thing with there is a character. There's a character. There's a character in Desperation Point that also happens to be in a different book. See, there's a lot of books that you wouldn't think is part of the Dark Tower series that actually are part of the Dark Tower series, and it's either because of places or characters and things like that. So there's lots of take a book like Booyah Moon, for example, right? Stephen King book is part of the Dark Tower series. So you realize that the Dark Tower series is like the central hub of the entire Stephen King universe, right?
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't think like Salem's Lot or The Stand or Booyah Moon or Rose Red. Not Rose Red. Rose Matter. Rose Matter, for example, is part of the Stephen King, or part of the Dark Tower series. So everything's been centered more or less around the Dark Tower series.
Except for the Castle Rock stories.
Right, except for the Castle Rock stories. That has nothing to do with it, or Children of the Corn or anything like that. But
right, but the Castle Rock stories have their own shared universe. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and they do also have supernatural beings and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
But that's the thing is, but the Castle Rock books, they are. I think they're still in the same King verse. They're just more adjacent to stuff happening in the Dark Tower. Like they don't. You know what I mean?
It's like it doesn't exist in the same time span. Because think about
But
this.
there's multiple time spaces. I mean, yeah.
Because Castle Rock, right, or the Castle Rock series, whether that be like Needful Things or anything associated with it.
That was the last one. The
Yes.
final one. I don't know if he's done one since then, but that was meant to be the final Castle Rock story.
There was a devil or a type of Satan in that book, right?
Oh yeah.
But when you get into the Dark Tower series, there is no mention of a devil. Or a god. There's a mention of a Dark Tower that controls everything, like the nexus of the universe, right?
Yeah.
And there's a mention of something like the devil, but it's the Crimson King.
Crimson
King.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no mention of Satan at all. So it's kind of like again, we go back to DC. It's kind of like the multiverse.
So speaking of that Dark Tower movie, did we meet the Crimson King in that? Because I don't think we did.
No, we don't.
Was he mentioned?
In the book, we do.
Oh, okay. So in which book?
In the I forget which.
Probably in the seventh one, I imagine.
Yeah. That
makes sense. Because that's the Dark Tower one. That's the last one.
No, I think he was. I want to say.
The last chronological one.
Probably, yeah. Dude, it's been so long since I read those.
So he was Gunslinger, Drawing of the Three, The Wastelands, Wizard in Glass, Wolves of the Kala, Song of Susanna, and The Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah. No.
Blah.
Between Wizard and Glass, and I think it's between Wizard and Glass and the other one.
Wolves?
Yeah. There's something called Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, so they put
Through the Keyhole or something like that.
Oh, cool.
So, so basically it's kind of like a small side story. The book's like, if you can see me, everybody, the book's like that thick.
They can't. Your hand, I'm blocking where your hand is right now. Right, there you go.
Anyway, so the book is not very thick.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of like, has really nothing to do with except for like the characters, Rollins and the kid and the dude and the I forget the names now, but they're basically held up in a some type of structure because of a storm. So it's basically just has nothing to do with nothing, but it is part of the Dark Tower series.
Okay, cool.
And then actually too, I mean, if you look at there is a book of short stories that Stephen King did, and Rolland is in one of them. Actually, I think I forget the name of the short story, but it's so you do hear Rolland from time to time.
As mentioned?
Dark Tower series. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard he was mentioned in the I think near the end of the book Insomnia.
Oh, he was also mentioned in oh God, what's that one now?
Was it Hearts in Atlantis?
Yes,
Really?
that's it.
Okay, I just guessed because that has Dark Tower content in it.
Not in the movie, of course.
No, not in the movie. No.
But unfortunately, but in the book, yes.
But there's this whole new wave of like Steve. Well, I don't know how many they're doing, but of Stephen King movies, like the new It, which is coming out, and they've had Pet Sematary since then. And so I'm wondering if these are in a shared universe.
Oh my God, the new Pet Sematary, dude.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
Is it?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know how, like, dude, we've been friends for almost a decade. And
Sometimes Dad is better.
sometimes that is, and well, okay, so we've been friends for almost a decade, and I want to say, even though, like, you and I never like chilled in the same reality space, real time space, you know me better than most people, basically, and you know how I feel about remakes. You know that I can either go, like, I can either say yay or nay remakes, and this Pet Sematary was actually, like, for a remake, was pretty damn good. So you got that coming. Well, you already had that coming out. You got the second chapter of It coming out, which the remake to It was phenomenal. It actually got I went to go see it in the theaters. It got a standing ovation. That's how good it was. So and of course, what's the other Stephen King movie that's coming out?
Aside from the second It film, I'm not sure what's coming out. It was just I just mentioned the Pet Sematary. Like these, like you know, in the Dark Tower, you can see Pennywise's name in it. So I don't know if these new Stephen King movies are in a shared universe, but I would like to think that they are, because this would be the perfect time to be able to actually keep it consistent, because it also takes place in the Dark Tower universe. I don't know if Pet Sematary does, though. So Pet Sematary isn't a Castle Rock story. It's because it's out in Ludlow or something.
It's a standalone movie.
Standalone, yeah, but it's near. The town is near where stuff has happened. Yes. Like because these Castle Rock stories, they also inhabit the same, like Cujo, like it's mentioned in other stories, like Sheriff Bannerman and these characters, or Alan Pangborn, these Ace Merrill.
Yes, Ace Merrill. Yep, he was in. Yeah. So that's like the thing about Stephen King is, like, I like how this show goes from, like, talking about DC and Marvel to like a whole straight conversation about Stephen King. Right. So the idea, like, dear listener, if you're not a Stephen King fan, Stephen King has the ability to connect stories that have nothing to do with each other, again, by time, place, event, and characters. So with that being said, I was first introduced to Ace Merrill through the story The Body, which, if you haven't read The Body, it's Stand By Me.
Yep.
You remember that? You remember the movie?
Oh yeah, I saw it a few times when I was a kid.
Even take, like, for example, here's something crazy. The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger is based on a Stephen King book called The Running Man. That was based on that.
Right, when he was writing as Richard Bachman.
Yes.
It was one of four stories compiled for something called the Bachman books.
Mm-hmm.
Of them, I don't know. I think only one has been adapted into a film, but I can't remember what all of them are. But I believe there's another one that's being adapted. And then there was another Bachman book called Thinner, which was adapted into a movie as well.
Thinner was now not only a good book, a good movie as well.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I always liked the dark half. I thought that was really well done.
The dark half I like, because if you think about it, it's like a writer's dark half. Yeah. Like, if you're like a horror writer, you have to, like, tap into, like, some kind of dark, like twisted shit. You know what I mean? And I can relate, because not that, like, I'm a sick, twisted person, but, like, definitely, like, my normal personality is different from my podcasting personality, so it's something that I have to tap into to get to that point. And you're talking about a writer's, like, whole dark personality coming to life and taking on its own entity in the dark half, and phenomenal. I loved it.
His phantasmic twin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a doppelganger.
Yes.
Or maybe it is a doppelganger.
Like,
Maybe it's not almost.
I think we talked about like meeting our doppelgangers before, like in alternate universes and.
Yeah, well, I think we've mentioned doppelganger has come up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to visit the little boy's room if you don't mind, and then we get back. I know Tyson has some things he wants to taste and tell us about.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I can do that now. I mean, when you come back, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be right back in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
So, Tyson, what do you have to taste for us tonight?
Well, let me tell you. Hunter wasn't looking, but I did a little motion like this. I went like that, and it's because I was imagining if I had long sleeve, like I would pop the sleeves a little bit. Like, well, let me tell you, and it didn't look like anything because I don't have sleeves. So,
there's nothing up this sleeve, and there's nothing up this sleeve.
nothing up the sleeve, nothing up my other sleeve. Oh. Sometimes I don't know my own strength. Okay, so I've got here something called Prairie Belt Smoked Sausages.
Smoked Prairie Belt smoked sausages.
Yeah. It's in reverse. Now, I'd just like to, I imagine they're like Vienna sausages.
Vienna, okay.
You know, so
That's imagining it.
tiny little, bits of sausage in a can. Here's what the ingredients here. Okay, so the sausage is made of mechanically separated chicken, water, chicken skin, pork skin, corn syrup, not high fructose, so that's okay. Pork spleens.
Mm-hmm.
Pork spleens. It's very
Pork
specific.
spleens.
Very specific. Salt contains 2% of or less of mustard, spices, and paprika, and its natural flavoring. Pork stomachs. Sodium tri something or other extractives of paprika, and then nitrite, smoke flavoring, and then the stock is chicken broth. So it's got skin, spleen, and stomach.
Let me ask you this. Now,
Yes.
I know that because we've talked about this quite often.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very specific diet that you try to stick to. So now, would this be like off of your diet plan or no?
No, because this is it's gluten free.
Okay.
And it doesn't have any wheat in it whatsoever, so it is actually perfectly fine for my diet. And let's see, how many servings are there? There's four. Okay, there's a serving size is 4 sausages, and it has about 2 servings, so that means there's about eight sausages in here. Yeah, it's kind of high in fat. Cholesterol could be better. So if one sausage, if I have one sausage, that will be 1/4 of a serving. So that means it's only 2.5 grams of fat, and then 12 milligrams of cholesterol. Sodium is still, it's going to be 1/4 of 690, which I can't do in my head at the moment. So, but it's got protein. Point is I don't know that I've ever had spleen.
I don't think I've ever had spleen either. I've had hog brains.
Oh, I haven't had hog brains. Did you have the kind canned? They're in milk.
No.
Okay. Well, how did you have your hog brains?
Basically like that. It looks like little Vienna sausage cans.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I got this from there's a place in McKinleyville near where I live called Dollar General, and it's not really a dollar store, although it does have a lot of dollar items. It's just got a lot of reduced price of items, and I found some canned meats that I had not previously seen before, alongside on the shelf with stuff that I have certainly seen before. Ooh, it's louder than I expected that to be. Okay, so I'm gonna open it.
That really opens my mind to something real quick. Now, there are dollar stores and Dollar Generals all over the place.
Probably.
Now, they do sell, to a certain extent, groceries, right? Now that looks like a lot of grease.
It does. Grease is the word. So yes, they sell.
But here's my thing: like, should you go grocery shopping at the Dollar General?
I mean, they had, they didn't have produce, but they did have very basic stuff. It was kind of like a big convenience store, except without like gas station convenience store prices, where stuff is like more expensive because it's convenient.
Right.
So it wasn't bad, actually. I mean, also go to a grocery outlet where there's a lot of reduced prices on things, and you can get like produce that does have produce, and you can get some pretty good like prices on, say, a head of cauliflower, for example. You can pay $2 for a head of cauliflower instead of $4 or $5, depending on what's available. So you sort of build your meal plan and kind of pick your shots. It's like
Yeah.
I learned to cook specific things that I can repeat at least once a week. Like fried rice, I make fried rice every week now. Sometimes on Tuesdays, sometimes on Thursdays. This week it's on. Oh, it might be on Wednesday this week. Anyway, but.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, but I have a repeatable recipe. So then that is like, okay, well, I know I need these ingredients, so then that becomes part of the budget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just like married life, having a kid stuff.
That's very true. I'm just after I want to say a very long time. I'm just getting back into the whole. Not married yet until the October 13th, but
Still,
I'm getting now back into the idea of budgeting, grocery shopping and
do you cook?
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, that helps. That helps.
Oh yeah. We call what's called like a big grocery shop and then a mini grocery shop. So we just did a big grocery shop where we just went nuts.
Stock up, get pantry stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
That. So.
Gotta be mindful of those sell-by dates.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. Since I've been back, like since I've been in this place, like I've been excited about things like cleaning products. Like in the past 5 years, it shouldn't suggest that like I wasn't cleaning or anything like that. It's just like I just wasn't like excited about these things, like a vacuum cleaner. Like I'm excited about that. Like I'm excited about coupons. It's just getting back into that mindset again. It's like
That's good, though.
oh my god, like I got cleaning products. It's great.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's good to have a good mindset about that stuff because it doesn't. I don't think it comes naturally. I think it comes out of maybe you're what's the word? Not nesting, but maybe you're looking forward to like domestic life basically, and perhaps even father life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, well, I mean, the thing about like obviously this isn't my first rodeo,
Right.
but certainly you don't lose like those type of small enjoyments in life. You know what I mean. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I enjoy cleaning again. It's just one of my things.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
So let's dive into this. What is it called again?
Prairie Belt smoked sausages. Prairie Belt.
Prairie Belt.
I go for the one in the middle now. I smelled them.
Not made from prairie dog.
No, unfortunately, because then I'd know what that tastes like.
Unfortunately.
Sure, why not? I don't know what prairie dog is. What is it? A rat? Is it a rat? Like so, it's like a rabbit, maybe? Or is it more like a hamster or a guinea pig? So like, it'd be good in Peru.
I think it's in that family.
So as you can see, it's basically a Vienna sausage.
Yes, it's a Vienna sausage.
And they smell like Vienna sausages. So I'm just going to bite the end. I'm not going to go for the whole thing here.
I get sausage, bitch.
And it's soft like a Vienna sausage.
Oh my god! Now, how does it have like a salty taste, or like does it taste like a Vienna sausage?
It tastes like a Vienna sausage, but it is also a bit saltier and I don't know if smokier is the right term, but I guess it's got a bit of smokiness to it.
Does it have like a smokiness to it?
I'd say surprisingly, but why would I be surprised it's there on the can? It does kind of have a smokiness to it.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Nice.
So that's... Let's see, what's a quarter of 90? It takes 4 what to make 90? 2 45s. So it would take 4... What's half of 45? 3750? No, sorry. 17, 27, 1750?
1750.
That doesn't seem right. That makes
No,
no.
you're right. God, why can I math?
2250.
2250. Well, it's kind of like that joke, right?
Sure, what?
So the joke is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a joke that you can pull on anybody, and dear listeners, don't get offended if you sound stupid, okay? Or not sound. If you feel stupid, you're not stupid, okay? No one's stupid.
Don't get offended if what?
Okay,
if
so
you
don't
sound stupid?
Yeah, so the joke is, it's supposed to get you to math, okay? Most people, when they hear this joke, they're going to math instead of going to the most simplest answer, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so...
Is it a joke or is it like a brain teaser riddle type thing?
It's a joke.
Okay.
Because of the way it's set up,
Excuse me.
you're going to automatically try to math, okay? So...
I like that math is a verb in this story.
Here's the joke, okay?
Yeah.
You got 5 cows.
5 cows.
5 cows. 2 dogs. 1 cat. How many legs do you have?
2.
Correct. That's what the intended answer would be. But most people will try to
Add up all the...
Correct.
How many cows was it?
5 cows.
So 5 cows, 4 legs, so that's 20 legs plus...
Right. Plus 2 dogs.
So that's another... 2 times 4 is 8, so 28.
And 1 cat.
1 cat has 4 legs, so 28 plus 4, so 32. So once they do the math, they probably end up saying 32.
Right.
That's probably the more common answer.
So that's what most people would say.
Right.
But the real answer is, if you listen to it, how many legs do you have? So essentially, most people will say, well, okay, well, how many legs do I have? It's like, no. How many legs do you have?
All right. You know, there was speaking of that, the legs and animals and riddles. There was this. It was either okay. So I've mentioned the Hodgepodge book on this show before, and it was this book of like weird folk facts and regular jokes and whatnot, and jokey jokes, you know. But then it would have stuff in it like you'd ask a question and then you'd tell a story to explain the thing, like a small story. Like, for example, the idea of like, what was it? Horses. On the subject of horses, and I'm not getting this right, but I'm getting the mechanics of it. But what?
Which I own one, by the way.
Cool. How many legs do horses have?
4.
And the thing is that so the person says I can prove to you that all horses are white and they have 6 legs. And yeah, and that's the look. That's pretty much the response. Is like, what is that? What do you mean? We can And it's like, so you say, okay, so every horse is white and has 6 legs. This is how that's true. So everybody knows that horses have 4 legs in front and 2 legs in back. So that makes
Correct.
So that makes 6 legs. And any horse that doesn't have 4 legs in front and 2 legs in back is a horse of a different color.
You just lost me in all kinds of avenues.
Sorry, yeah, so that... So every horse has, so the premise is that every horse is white and has 6 legs.
Right.
And by the way, it is supposed to be slightly confusing. It's not, you're not lost, but it's like, it's okay, so then they say, so 6 legs.
6 legs.
They have 4 legs in front and 2 legs in back.
4 legs in front, 2 legs, okay.
That makes 6. It's because of the double, the homonym 4. It's 4 legs in front, 2 legs in back. 4. So any horse that doesn't have 4 legs in front and 2 legs in back is a horse of a different color.
Gotcha.
That's a horse of a different color. Yeah.
That's a horse of a different color, right?
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
How was the sausages?
They're fine. I realize now that I open them, there's not really a way to store them, so I'm probably gonna have to finish eating them. That's fine. They're not bad. I do have another item, but would I recommend them? I guess. Let's see. I would. Why not? I mean, they're a little snack. If you are turned off by soft sausages, then I would steer away from Vienna sausages or any other canned meat that normally has a snap to it. This is more just like it's not quite mush, but it's barely held together mush. And I don't know. It's a specific It's a
Dear
specific mouthfeel.
Dear listener, let me stop Tyson right there. Okay? I'm the type of, in case you don't know me, I'm the type of person that when I hold you in the highest regard, I will certainly take any advice or anything you show me seriously to the point of doing it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to Tyson, I hold him in the highest regard and brother status.
Thank you, sir.
So,
And you are as well.
So,
And I.
since Tyson is my brother, of course, I hold him in the highest regard. I pretty much, whenever he recommends something, whether it be food, video games, whatever it is, I try to check it out. In relations to Fortnite, that owns quite a bit of my life at the moment. So I mean,
Oh, good. You're enjoying Fortnite.
oh, absolutely, dude. I also did. I mean, there's other games that I want that you've done that I want to check out myself. Red Dead Redemption is the latest one, too. That I definitely and you know what's funny about that? My boss, right, who I would like to look at this man. You would never think he plays video games, right? So I had mentioned the fact that you had played because he obviously knows who you are because he listens to the show, right? So I was like talking about Red Dead Redemption, right? And he's like, I own a copy of that. I'm like, wait, you video game?
Red Dead
Like-
Redemption 1? He has a copy of?
No, the latest one.
Oh,
Like, you've
two.
been
Oh, okay.
so like to look at this man, like you would never think like he games, right? So like when he like starts talking about it, and I'm like, wait a second, you play video games? Like you're that cool? So so he agreed to let me borrow his copy of it so I can play it because obviously I'm not going to spend the $60 on myself.
Right.
Now take this chair that I'm sitting on, right? This is a new computer chair or game chair as it's called.
I'd like to quickly say thanks to my in-laws for giving me the gift card at Christmas time so I could afford to get Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So we bought the chair, and as I was explaining to the other half, the amount of money that I spent on this chair, I would never normally spend on myself. So if it was a gift for somebody else, I can justify it. Like if I was going to go out and spend like money on like $60 on a video game for somebody else, I can do it. Justifiable. Sure. Not myself. So the fact that he's going to let me play this, it's like, oh my God, I need to play it. It's like everybody's teasing me with this. It's like, no, I have to play it.
Have you? So you saw the video though that I did of Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got actually at least 4 more that I've taped that I haven't published yet, but I just haven't had time to edit them. So I'm going to aside from music on YouTube that I listen to, what else I've been like watching on YouTube? Like I watch a lot of YouTube, so it's like, okay, like I can either watch I can either like spend time on nonsense, or I can spend time on something I know it's going to be good. So I just normally watch you because I know it's going to be good. Oh, thank you.
And I get new ideas. So like that whole underwater alien world game that you've been playing, like
Subnautica.
Yes, I so want to play this.
I actually have a new Subnautica video coming out. I haven't filmed one in a while, but I filmed one last year, and I got it edited out, so I'm going to be publishing that after I get the next succotash done, which is imminently. But this is in the future, so like it will already have been out by the time I mention this. So that's good. But that's something for you if you like those videos. Yeah, you should play Subnautica. It's a pretty it's an interesting game.
By the way, for anyone that's out there listening, okay? Yes, I know that Fortnite has a 50-50 on it, okay? Now, when I say 50-50, it's either like you look at it as a good thing or like you look at it as a bad thing, okay? Now, take like, for example, let's look at it as a good thing, okay?
Okay.
Let's look at it as critical thinking.
Sure.
Okay. Now, obviously, when I first heard of Fortnite, and obviously, like the hype was going, I said, "This has got to be the dumbest fucking game on the planet, right?"
Okay.
Except until I saw Tyson play it, right? So here's Tyson on YouTube playing Fortnite, where he didn't engage in like battling people or like, you know, running around, fighting people, whatever. He just built a thing. Like, he just built a thing in the air, which led to a sky bridge, which, like, that's all it took, right? So I'm like, okay, I can see this being kind of fun if like you're just sticking to that aspect of it. So I downloaded
practice
it.
mode.
I practice mode, right? So I built a thing, like I built a sky bridge, and then on this sky bridge I built nonsensical things that made no sense, and then I fell to the ground on this little island they provide you, and I'm like staring at this little island, and I'm staring up in the sky, and I'm like on this grass, and I'm like, gee, they let me build a sky bridge, and they let me build these nonsensical things. Can I build a castle? And then all of a sudden, Mario, like the original Mario Brothers, popped in my head. Like, you know, like the old like brick, everything was made of brick. Like, can I build a castle?
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. So I built a castle. And then a castle led to another castle, led to a wall, led to towers, led to all kinds of shit.
Nice.
So critical thinking, like, it allows you to think about things. It allows you to build things, to be creative, to like have like that, like, I don't know how to like. It just allows your brain process to go. So, Fortnite, big thumbs up. Thanks to Tyson, who basically just started with just building a thing. So, I mean,
I do have a video where I play a little bit of Battle Royale as well. Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be more interested in obviously the building of the thing than rather, because you know what, dude, I've had hours of fun just building rather than doing a battle royale.
Well, good. That's good. I'm actually going to be playing. Speaking of building things, I'm going to be playing Minecraft before too long. Pretty much for the first time.
I actually have Apple TV, which has Minecraft on it.
Really? Do you play Minecraft at all?
I want to. I'm going to start. I have the controller for it.
You ever thought about doing gaming videos?
Yeah, all the time.
Because you have a camera.
Yeah.
You could probably do that. Might as well publish them on YouTube. You know.
If anything, I would just like do it and send it to you.
Well, you know, that'd be fun too.
So, what's your next tasting thing?
Next tasting thing? Oh, it's another Choco Love chocolate bar.
Cool.
This one. Yeah. What's up?
1 second. Be right back.
Okay.
All right. Now, what is it? What is it called?
1 moment. I'm attempting to open it up.
Now it's chocolate, right?
Yes, it is. It is. There we go. Okay. It's peach and
chocolate, peach, and pecan.
Yeah, chocolate, peach, and pecan. It is only 33% chocolate. Sorry, cacao. It's a lighter chocolate than I usually have. I usually have the dark ones. It's Belgian chocolate. So it is peach and pecan in milk chocolate. I'm looking at the bar, and it's in these smaller, not smaller, but like around the same size chambers, I guess. I don't know what to call these, what they call them in the candy making market, but about the same dimensions of the ginger ones, where it's like about the same, same size squares. Like the salted almond butter ones were definitely bigger pieces, like almost caramel sized. So I'm going to break off a piece or two and taste it.
Okay.
I've had good luck with the Choco Love so far, taste wise.
I think what would throw me off is the peach part of it.
The peach having like dried fruit in it. Yeah, I don't know. So got like a Tetris piece here. I'm going to break a piece over that.
Okay.
All right, get it down to one piece. All right.
So Jason is going to try a square of the chocolate right now.
See how that's sticking out of the end there?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's peach or pecan, but I guess we'll find out.
Down the hatch.
Well, the milk chocolate's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if I can identify
Now,
a piece of either peach or pecan in my mouth, yeah?
for our listeners, where did you obtain this chocolate?
Oh, there's a market down the street called Murphy's Market. And they have a pretty good selection of various chocolate bars and also an international section of the grocery store with like a selection of British stuff, which is where I get Marmite from. I can go down the street and get Marmite. I found the peanuts, or the pecans. Those are nice. I'm not sure I can differentiate where the peach is just yet in these pieces, but I'm trying. It's tasty. When it's chocolate, it's really hard to mess up chocolate. Maybe it's easy to mess up chocolate, but like.
Do you taste like it's peach and almond, right? So like those two
Pecan.
flavors, like pecan.
Peach and pecan, man.
Now, do they do they go together or do they go against each other?
No, they are. I think they're complementary at this stage. I definitely I can taste. So I can taste the chocolate, and I can feel the texture and taste the pecan. But I don't know that I'm getting the peach, unless I'm getting it in a very subtle way against the chocolate, and it is possible. I'm not complaining because it could be that it's very subtle. I'm gonna bite a piece. Maybe I've got to get further into the bar. Now, if you look at the back side of the bar, you can kind of see the texture of the stuff that's embedded in it.
Oh yeah, like you can see I can see pecans.
Probably, yeah. It's probably the nuts that you can see there. Yeah.
Maybe like the peach is the flavor.
That's the thing. It could be like just smaller bits. You see now, the reason why I would think it might be bigger is because when I had the cherries and chilies, the cherry pieces were bigger and definitely identifiable because it was like kind of like having raisins in a candy bar, which I don't mind. I actually like raisins, but I certainly know a lot of people who don't. Well, I don't know that I know a lot of people who don't like raisins.
I had like little raisin action figures with like the different instruments. Remember like instruments? Remember like the little California raisins?
Hold on. I've stopped making the crinkling noise. What? The little what now?
Remember the California raisins?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had like little rubber action figures of those.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Heard it through the vape. Yeah.
The vape crime.
So I'm thinking like, okay, so what I saw from like that chocolate, I saw like the back of it, obviously. I saw what could be pecans. So maybe like the peach is like little flakes, like the flavor of it, maybe, perhaps.
Because you can see the cross section.
Yes.
That just looks like pecan. Yeah, it's harder to see whether or not there's. Hold on. Excuse me, look at my fingers, but. I don't know. I don't know if I can visually. Okay. It's possible. It looks like the peach might be threaded into it. So it's there, but it's more like a flavor note than it is a texture component, as far as I can tell. Now, this is just the top 3 bits of the bar. If I get closer to the center of the bar and I end up getting more peach, then I'll have to report back on that later. But right now, peach isn't jumping out at me. But I'm not hating on it. It's pretty good. I mean, I've enjoyed pretty much all of their candy bars. So, but I'd give this one a 4, just like out of 5, just like I gave the cherries and chilies a 4 out of 5. because I don't like it as much as the chocolate and ginger, which had some nice big pieces of candied ginger. And of course the salted almond butter dark chocolate ones are just, that is really good. That is amazingly good.
I'm telling you right now, salted caramel.
That's good too.
I absolutely freaking like creep my pants. Because let me tell you something. I love salt, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I love spice more so than sweet. So like when you add like salted caramel to things, like oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes.
what's the third thing?
Salted caramel and what? What third thing?
No, you said you had 3 things tonight. So what's the third thing?
Oh, did I say there's a third thing?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know that I have a third thing.
That's fine.
I knew I had 2 things, but I
could have sworn you said there was like a third thing.
You know what? Actually, I'll do a third thing. I'll go downstairs and get this thing because I need to open this bag of stuff. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So I went to Michigan 2 years ago, and I found an entire store that like sells nothing but beef jerky, different types of beef jerky, obviously. I've tried ostrich, alligator. Welcome back.
Hello.
Now, when you say downstairs,
Yeah.
do you have like 2, like you yourself, like your apartment, do you have like 2 levels?
It's split level. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically, okay, so instead of being like that, it's got, you walk in and it's got bedrooms, it's got bedroom, bathroom, and then master bedroom, which has a bathroom and shower and whatnot on the top. And then there's a set of stairs and it goes down into living room, kitchen, dining room area. So all the living room stuff is downstairs, and then in the kitchen, or the pantry in this case, where I would get the food item out of, downstairs. And then the bedrooms and sleeping area and otherwise are upstairs. So.
How many bedrooms? How many bedrooms?
2.
Oh, 2. Gotcha.
Only 2. 2 bed, 2 bath. We needed 2 bath. And it has a washer and dryer, which is nice.
Hell yeah, dude. I got mine in my closet.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, so like this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a walk-in closet in the living room. You have a walk-in closet in the bedroom, and then you have a kind of a walk-in closet, but they put the washer and dryer in it. So.
But so it's where the washer and dryer hookups are.
No, there's a washer and dryer in there, stackable.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A washer dryer combo?
Yeah, let me show you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see this when gets the final video up, this is what my washer and dryer is like. Hold on.
Other side of the screen. Other side. And then pull it back a bit. Go further to the left. Yes, there. Now I can see. See, I'm okay. Take it away for a second. I'll show you. I'm fully on your screen, right? So right about here on your screen, from here to about here, is where I am. So I'm blocking out everything in that area there. So you kind of put it behind me. But if you move it over there, then this is where we could see it. So yeah, so I got to see the picture once it was moved over to the layer there.
So that's it's like, yeah.
Nice. Washer dryer combo. Cool.
It's actually pretty cool. I mean, like, you lose kind of like, if you have like a normal wash and dryer, like you have more room, obviously, but like with that, it's stackable. So it's just fits in the closet. It's perfect.
Awesome. So, I've got from Haribo.
From where?
Haribo.
Haribo.
Haribo. Haribo.
Oh,
The candy people that make gummy bears.
I love gummy bears.
Like gold gummy bears, the ones that are like in the gold package. That's the Haribo ones. They also make these blackberry and raspberry gumdrop things that are covered in tiny little candy, either black or red balls. Tiny little balls, yeah. Anyway, but they also make die Schlumpfe in gummy form. And for those of you who don't know what die Schlumpfe is, it's the Smurfs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's gummy Smurfs.
Gummy Smurf.
Yeah, so I'm going to open this, and it's going to make a lot of noise because it already does. Ouch. I'm going to have to get a longer cord for that before it... I'm actually opening it slightly differently than the opening instructions, which is probably why I'm not doing so well. Alright, let's see here.
It looks weird.
Lots of things, but...
I actually have little rubber Smurf toys.
Rubber Smurf toys?
Like, they didn't do anything. They were just like hard rubber toys.
Oh, yeah. And are they as tall as they are in the cartoon, or are they different? Because in the cartoon, do you remember how tall Smurfs are supposed to be?
Yes.
How tall?
By centimeter?
Well, they
inches?
use a certain unit of measurement in order to get them. I think we've actually had this conversation before.
They were like this tall.
Yeah. They're 3 apples high. That's how tall they are.
Yes, no, these were definitely not 3 apples high.
So neither are these. In fact, these are about gummy bear sized, maybe even slightly bigger. So here's I guess your regular version of a Smurf.
Okay.
It's blue with the white hat.
Not to sound dirty, but it kind of looks like a head with.
Yeah, or a fish.
Or a fish, right?
It's also, I think it's smiling. I don't know how good the camera is on that, but can you make out its face?
Yeah, I can make out.
That is one happy piece of candy. All right. So there's that. Then there's also, with a different shape, by the way.
We got in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit! It's Papa Smurf.
It's Papa Smurf. He's got the red hat. Yeah. And he's got a big smile on his face there.
No shit.
Which is weird.
I'm fucking dying.
Well, okay. And then the other shape is, of course, which is actually a very similar shape, but it's... Smurfette. They have Smurfettes, yes. They have little Smurfettes. So now...
You know what's funny about this is why I'm losing my shit is because they look like perverted candy.
Do they? They just look like Smurfs to me.
Oh, thick.
So I think it's only Smurfs. I don't think there's any Gargamels or Azraels in here. So which Smurf head do I bite off first?
The white one.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to go with the white one. It's definitely a happy looking. I mean, he looks like it could be Happy Smurf. Oh no, it's not. It's Jokey Smurf. I could tell that it's Jokey Smurf because he's got. I don't know if you could see that, but he's got a little package. He's holding a little box. He's holding the little box, the one that explodes when you open it.
I almost have to leave the room.
Okay, so I'm gonna try Jokey Smurf, and hopefully he won't explode in my mouth. Yeah, I did that on purpose.
You did.
Oh, okay. Well, they're a bit waxier than normal gummy bears. They almost got a gumdrop consistency.
That killed me. So I was. Now, is it like a fruity flavor or is it like a gummy bear flavor?
You know, it's like a fruity gumdrop. Actually, kind of waxy.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that dots and jujubes are kind of waxy. Where they're kind of like. Words. I just got really paranoid that this has got weed in it. I'm reading the ingredients again. Nope, I'm okay.
Good.
Okay.
So
but these do have like interesting fruit flavors in them.
Okay, so it's kind of like different flavors of gummy bears, basically.
Yeah, and they got the different. I don't know if they got more than Jokey Smurf in here, as far as the generic Smurf goes.
Mm.
But it's got like the flavor looks like beeswax. Okay, so the flavors are like elderberry extract.
Mm.
It's got orange, black currant,
Okay.
lemon, chokeberry,
Chokeberry,
and grape flavors. Speaking of choking, so which Papa Smurf or Smurfette should I taste next?
Papa Smurf.
I will Papa Smurf into my mouth.
That was great.
Oh.
Dying.
So, is it a different flavor profile? That's a good question. I cannot determine that. It is sticking to my teeth. So yeah, much more like a gumdrop in the consistency of dots. You've had dots before? Used to get them, Used to get them at Halloween all the time. They're like they're not a soft gumdrop. They're like a real kind of, not as hard as jujubes.
Softer.
Not
Jujubes
much softer.
kind of like no. Jujubes are kind of like a little tough.
Yeah. Like a candy that really makes you work for it.
The most hated candy, of course, of the Halloween season is candy corns.
Yeah, oddly. I really like Necco wafers.
What is it called?
Necco wafers?
I don't think I've ever had those.
They're little discs, and they're flat, like coins.
Right?
And I guess I described them by saying they're a disc. But so they're flat, like coins, like a disc.
Like a disc.
Like a disc. And their flavors are kind of like old school, like peppermint and anise and like cinnamon, like spice drop flavors, allspice, peppermint, spearmint, like, things like that. They're pretty good. There's one that's fruity, like there's one that's like an orange flavor, I think. And that's, I should like get a sleeve of Necco wafers and try to be like, okay, this is what color it is, this is what flavor it is. Sometime.
Yeah, do they still make those?
Oh yeah, Necco wafers are everywhere. Probably get them on Amazon if you can't find them at the local candy store. But they're sold in a little sleeve, a little tube of stuff, and it's like wax paper looking thing. Necco. Necco. They're like they're like a hard candy, but they're really thin, so they're not like on the teeth. They're. Who likes to chew on things is my kid. Who really likes to chew on his little ring for his gums, and he just like goes.
Speaking of which, during the late 80s, there was if I remember this correctly, and probably nobody else will, there were these wax figures, so to speak.
Wax figures, okay.
Of different, like, classic monsters, like the old Hollywood monsters, right?
Uh-huh.
And inside were, like, juice of some kind, so, like, you had to, like, bite into these things.
Oh, yeah, were they like the bottles, except they were shaped like monsters?
Yes.
So like nickel nips, except
Yes.
I think they're called nickel nips.
Do you remember those, like, during Halloween time?
Vaguely. I think kind of. I know that I remember, like, wax vampire teeth. And it was like chewing wax. You chew it like gum.
Yep.
But you not swallow it, though. You're not supposed to swallow that stuff.
No, not at all.
It's like, how did that idea stay around for so long? Just chewing on something. Well, I guess at least as long as people have been chewing on
That's
off the road or whatever. So I'm not gonna. I don't know. I guess I could taste Smurfette later.
Oh, by the way, to give Ethan a shout out, or give him a thumb. Well, not a thumbs up, but to give him a.
Give him a thumbs up, sure.
What the fuck? cdbaby.com. You can go there and get the first 3 Combat Radio Halloween haunted albums for what is it, $19.99?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
each or like in a.
Yeah, no, each. Each is $19.99, and of course, each soundtrack is 99 cents.
Lots and lots of tracks on it. It actually is a deal if you buy it for at the $20 price.
And the only reason why I say this is because obviously at this time last year or year before that, we did our own contribution, and usually with Combat Radio it starts way earlier, and so we were like recording in July and nowhere near Halloween, of course, but just because we're talking about candy and shit like that, it just popped in my head.
Sure, yeah. Totally.
I'm sane,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm saner. Literally.
Really.
You know who's... Okay, so you would say, who's saner? Mr. Saner or Mr. Saner's baby?
Mr. Saner.
Actually, it's Mr. Saner's baby because he's a little saner.
Yes. Well, you'd have to say your baby is a little saner than you are.
Yes. I would definitely have to say that. Well, that's about all the time we have for Antisocial Show. I'm Tyson Saner.
And I'm Hunter Block.
Be decent to each other.
Absolutely. Peace.
Smurfette.
Have a good time, folks.